Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this, you've probably seen the headlines. Gold just hit $4,000 per ounce for the first time in history. $4,000. Let's get our bearings. In early 2025, gold was trading around $2,600 to $2,700 per ounce. That was already historically high. Now we're at $4,000. That's a 50% increase in roughly 9 months. To put that in perspective, the 1980 spike to $850, about $3,200 in today's dollars, took years. The 2011 peak of $1,900 was during the financial crisis aftermath. The 2020 COVID spike hit $2,070. We've just witnessed one of the fastest, most dramatic gold rallies in modern history. This isn't normal. This isn't even crisis normal. This is something else entirely. Now, before we dive into why this is happening, let's travel back to 1912. J.P. Morgan testified before the Peugeot Committee, which was investigating the concentration of financial power. A congressman asked him about the basis of credit. Morgan's response has echoed through economic history. Gold is money, everything else is credit. What did he mean? Let's try to understand why he said this. Gold as money. Intrinsic value. It has uses beyond currency, jewelry, electronics, industry. Zero counterparty risk. It doesn't depend on anyone's promise to pay. Physical asset. You can hold it, store it, own it outright. Universal acceptance. Recognized globally for millennia. Everything else as credit. Fiat currency. A government's promise it has value. Bonds, a borrower's promise to repay. Stocks, a claim on future corporate earnings. Bank deposits, a bank's promise to return your money. See the difference? Credit requires trust. Gold requires nothing but existence. So, why does gold at $4,000 matter? Because when gold spikes like this, it's the market's way of screaming, we don't trust the credit anymore. Let's look at what typically drives gold prices. Factor 1. Inflation fears. When inflation runs hot, fiat currency loses purchasing power. A dollar today buys less than a dollar tomorrow. Gold, historically, maintains its purchasing power. 100 ounces of gold could buy you a decent house in 1920. Today, 100 ounces of gold buys you, well, that's actually another video. The housing crisis is really, really bad. Factor 2. Currency debasement. Governments worldwide have been printing money like it's going out of style. Which, ironically, it kind of is. When money supply increases faster than economic growth, each unit of currency becomes worth less. Gold supply, meanwhile, increases maybe 1 to 2% annually through mining. Factor 3. Geopolitical chaos. Wars, conflicts, trade disputes, political instability, all drive investors towards safe havens. And gold is the ultimate safe haven. It survived the fall of Rome, the world wars, and every financial crisis in between. Factor 4. Debt crisis concerns. Global debt is at unprecedented levels, over $300 trillion. When debt becomes unsustainable, creditors get nervous. And nervous creditors buy gold. For gold to hit $4,000, we're not seeing just one of these factors. We're seeing a perfect storm of all of them. Remember Morgan's distinction? Credit depends on counterparties. Let me illustrate why that matters right now. When you deposit money in a bank, you don't actually have money. You have a claim on money. The bank promises to give it back. That's credit. The bank then lends that money out, creating more credit. The borrower promises to pay it back. More credit. This system works beautifully until trust evaporates. In 2008, we saw what happens when counterparty risk materializes. Lehman Brothers failed. Banks stopped trusting each other. Credit markets froze. The entire financial system nearly collapsed. The response? Central banks printed trillions. They made promises backed by more promises. They issued credit to solve a credit crisis. Fast forward to 2025, and we've got even more debt, even more money printing, even more interconnected financial systems, even more too-big-to-fail institutions. When gold hits $4,000, sophisticated investors are essentially saying, I'm tired of promises. I want the asset with zero counterparty risk. If historic data is to be relied upon, gold price movements can be explained by real interest rates, nominal rates minus inflation, dollar index movements, geopolitical uncertainty indices, central bank balance sheets. For gold to jump 50% this fast, at least 3 of these 4 factors must be flashing red simultaneously. The $4,000 price implies either inflation expectations have skyrocketed, or real interest rates have collapsed, or geopolitical risk has exploded, or trust in the dollar has cratered, or, most likely, some combination of all 4. Not really sure which one is it here. It's not as if the world is seeing major conflict in Europe or the Middle East. People finally have politicians they can trust, and interest rates aren't being dictated by federal banks around the world. So here's the bottom line. JP Morgan was right in 1912, and he's still right in 2025. Gold is money. Everything else is credit. And when that credit becomes questionable, when promises seem less reliable, people return to the one asset that doesn't require anyone's promise. Gold at $4,000 isn't just a price milestone. It's a referendum on trust. It's the market's way of saying, we need something real. We need something that doesn't depend on governments, banks, or anyone else keeping their word. Whether this spike continues, whether it's justified, whether you should buy gold, those are questions only you can answer based on your situation. But what's undeniable is this. We're living through a historic moment in monetary history. The question isn't really about gold, it's about trust. And right now, the market is telling us that trust is in short supply. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe.